Hello class, my name is Sarah Medoff. I'm going to be your instructor for Econ 409. So I have to make this video very quick because I only have about 15 minutes and I want to walk everybody through the online classroom and the syllabus and just kind of a basic overview of how the course is going to be structured. So we can do a more formal introduction when we meet for our first session on Friday from 4 to 6. So welcome to Econ 409, the Oceans Economy. This course is structured quite a bit different than most of my other courses in the sense that we do have a synchronous session. Most of my courses online have been async. These synchronous sessions are highly mandatory. So please, please, please do not skip them because this is like the bulk of this TBSE online course. So most of the content, or I take it back, all of the content actually is available on Lamaku. So this is going to be UH's online portal for all online courses. So they've implemented Lamaku for a while now, so hopefully this isn't new to everybody, but just in case this is your first time using Lamaku, I'm going to kind of show you how it's structured. So you will go to the Lamaku site, lamaku.hawaii.edu. You will sign in with your UH username and your password, and you will see a page when you log in very similar to this. So you should have tabs for all of your different semesters or terms. We are obviously in summer 2026. So you will see one of these two sections. So there are two sections of Econ 409 for this TBSE course. You will be enrolled in one of the sections. It doesn't matter which one because both online classrooms are exactly the same. So once you log in successfully, you will click on our course and you will see a page similar to this. I don't know if all of the modules will be visible because there is a start date and an end date, and so they might open and close depending on what module we're in, and this is really just to kind of keep organization of the course. Sometimes you can forget what module, if we're on 4 or 5, so this way they just show as the course proceeds. So you might not see all these modules when you first log in, but they should open up as the course goes. So every week is going to follow a very similar structure, except for the first week and the last week, partially the last week. The last week also follows a pretty similar structure to all other weeks, but the first week is going to be structured wildly different because from my understanding, you guys have a ton of in-person activities scheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday of the course, the first Tuesday and Wednesday of the course. I don't want you to worry about anything related to the course while you are participating in these online sessions. I want you completely present. They sound amazing. I unfortunately will not be able to attend these, but I know you guys have a fish auction tour, which I have done in grad school, which is very early, but it's amazing. And you have a couple other fun activities. So don't worry about getting started on the course until like potentially the first Thursday of the first week. So once the first Thursday hits, you can log into Lamaku. Please go over the syllabus. So we should actually go over this now. You can press on this link. It should pop up with a syllabus. If it doesn't, it might be because you're not logged in to your Google Drive through your UH username and password. So log in with your UH email. Do not log in with your personal email. You will not have access to all the material. You'll end up sending me a share request. It's just easier if you just log in with your UH email. So you click on that and it will navigate to our syllabus. So you can read what this course is about. It's a 6-week course that explores economic activity within the ocean. We have course learning objectives, course communication. So like I said, this course is 100% accessible through Lamaku. So all of the learning material, the slides, extra readings, extra resources will all be delivered through Lamaku system or platform. I try to be very diligent about checking my email. I have it on my phone, so I am fairly responsive. There are times where emails can get buried, or there are times where maybe I see the email on my phone and I mean to go home and follow up with, a student's request. I forget. If that is the case, if you email me and you do not hear a response within a day, please do not hesitate to just keep emailing me. I don't mind being bothered. It's probably the best way. So, but I do try to be as responsive as possible through emails. Prereqs, Econ 120, 130. I know some of you don't have those prereqs satisfied. That shouldn't be a huge problem. There might be a little bit of work that you guys might have to do on your own involving, reviewing YouTube videos or seeing me in office hours or virtual meetings, etc. And we can arrange that. I think that's about it. Grading, I typically do over the weekend. If you're concerned about your grade, please don't hesitate to email me. I do have policies around AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, things like that. I am not necessarily opposed to them. I understand if you want to leverage these resources to revise your wording, maybe English is your second language, or for me personally, writing is not my strong point. It takes a lot of energy for me to write. And so if you want to use ChatGPT to slightly revise your work, I understand that. If you have some ideas and you need somebody to talk to and nobody's available and you kind of start a conversation with Gemini or ChatGPT to bounce ideas, I somewhat get that as well. But I think, with having these like LM models present in the classroom, it really demands a huge amount of responsibility for the students. At the end of the day, school is where you're supposed to get your training. This is where you train your critical thinking skills, your creativity, etc., etc. So I really encourage you to use these really strong, powerful AI models as a tool and definitely not a crutch. So do not let it replace organic thought. Do not outsource all of your work to these LM models. Additionally, because we have these in-person sessions, it will be really difficult to participate in a meaningful way if you have ChatGPT or Gemini do all your work. So I will potentially know if you are outsourcing too much on, these external resources. Then the syllabus goes into course topics. We talk about the introduction. We do a brief introduction to the ocean's economy, so rules and regulations. Then we get into fisheries management. We discuss marine tourism. We talk about maritime trade and exchange. And then lastly, we talk about climate change. And I know I'm going pretty fast just because I'm on this time constraint and I don't want to run out of time to make this video. So you guys are more than welcome to review the syllabus and look at these things a little bit more in detail. So last thing I want to point out from the syllabus is the course format and pacing, as well as the grading. So like I said, every week follows a very similar pattern except for that first week because you have those in-person sessions. So Tuesday, Wednesday, you are going to be doing in-person sessions. Thursday, I don't believe you have anything planned. So Thursday is your day to really kind of sit down, go through the first lecture material. It's not that complicated. There isn't any really crazy methods or topics being covered. It's really just about how the ocean is regulated, to what extent, and things like that. We talk about the blue economy and all these things. So it's a pretty simple lecture slide. You will have a quiz on this first lecture on the second week, and you have Monday and Tuesday to complete that quiz. And so after the first week, every week follows the same format. So beginning of the week, you're going to have a quiz. You have Monday, Tuesday to take it. I think maybe part of Wednesday, but double check on the due date. Wednesday, we'll have our in-person session. Thursday, Friday, you can use that time to review the lecture notes that will show up in the quiz the following week. And then over the weekend, you will be given an assignment. And that assignment is going to supplement our in-person activities. So I do have a brief description of all of these different aspects of the course. So the synchronous meetings, these are going to be Wednesday from 4 to 6. Please attend. These are so important. This is a huge part of your grade to participate in these discussions. So if something comes up, I understand, just email me and we will work together to make sure you don't fall behind or you don't miss the opportunity on those points during these discussion sessions. So weekly assignments will supplement the discussion sessions. The lecture slides, those are obviously not graded, but you do get quizzed on. Quizzes. So every week you will have a quiz. You have Monday, Tuesday, potentially Wednesday to take it. You have 30 minutes to complete the test. I think it's about 10 questions. You are able to repeat the test up to 3 times. Just know that there is a question pool that it's pulling from, so you might not get the same questions every single time. But it should show you which answers you got wrong, so you can potentially raise your grade the next time you retake the quiz. And then as you can see, the synchronous participation is probably the biggest aspect of the grade. All right, so that is the syllabus. Let's talk about the Lamaku site. So like I said, this is our Lamaku site. Everything is in weekly modules. So first week you will navigate here. Everything being done in the first week is going to be encompassed in this week 1, down to the assignments that are assigned over the weekend. So each module will have like a brief introduction, what's expected, what we're going to talk about in the in-person session, and then what you're going to focus on for the end of the week and looking ahead. So the looking ahead is like what you can expect in week 2, since we're looking at week 1. So like I said, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the first week, don't worry about this, but come Thursday, please review the lecture slides. Also, make sure you do your introduction slides, so you can click on this and it will give you instructions on how to complete the assignment. But this is going to be used during our in-person activity on Friday. So that in-person activity is at 4 p.m. on Friday. So make sure you have your instruction slide completed before then. When we meet, I'll probably pull up Lamaku. I will give you this in-person. I'll click here. We will introduce ourselves. We will maybe go over a very summarized version of the next week's slides. So the tragedy of the commons is going to be involved, is going to be linked with the fisheries lecture. So that's going to be discussed next week. And then you have some weekend homework. So you can do this on the weekend of the first week. After the first week is over, you will navigate to week 2. So you can see when this starts and when this ends. Same thing, you have an overview, summary, and then the first thing you do during the second week is you take your quiz. So you have until June 2nd, midnight, to complete this quiz. And then we will meet on Wednesday from 4 to 6, and we will do this in-person activity. And so this fishery poster slides is something you will have gotten done over the weekend of that first week. So that's kind of how this is all structured. And then you have your second set of lecture slides. So this is what you will end the week with. You will review these lecture slides on Thursday, Friday, and then you will work on your weekend homework for week 3. And so we do that all the way until the end of the course. So as you can see, you have your weekly modules and then each kind of topic below that. So I think that's about it. This is really how everything is structured and formatted, and I am good on time. I have about 50 seconds left of this video. So I just want to close with saying I'm really excited to teach this class. This is the first time I've taught an in-person session in a really long time. So I do really look forward to getting to know all of you guys. I look forward to learning more about you, and I really hope you enjoy this class, and I hope this really inspires you to pursue a degree in economics or at least maintain interest in environmental studies. So I look forward to talking to you all soon. Thank you.